Yeah, we've always shared of the story about my parents separating when I was at a younger age, and same as you.
Mine were not together in the first place. They tried. They were teenagers. You can imagine if my dad was 21, how old was my mom?
Your mom got you to how many years?
Around 16.
What?
Yeah.
How many times in a day should a married couple have sex?
In a day. In a day, Ofu, when you don't have a job. A woman has different forms of sex. So it's up to you to know which one you're going to be given. We have sex with our husband, we make love to our husbands, and we play it. So depending on what you're presenting to me, nitakupatia one of these three. You need to be a wife to him because you already are. I need to be a lover, and you need to be a nice little hoe.
And of course, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lessons at 30 coming live on Dr. Ofweneke TV. My name is the Eagle himself, the Duke of Kakamega. Dr. Ofweneke is my name. And of course, thank you so much. We've had Kidum on the show. We have had Willis Raburu on the show. Of course, we started, with Israel Mbonyi. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without taking so much time, and just in case you have not subscribed and hit the like button on the YouTube, I don't know what you're waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole world is watching Lessons at 30. I don't know what you're waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's a show, then you need to watch with a pen and a paper, because this is where we're getting real life experiences, real lesson. This is the show to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about many things with the Kidum, with Willis Raburu, with Israel Mbonyi, but today I am delighted, ladies and gentlemen, to have one of the people I respect so much. I find it so hard calling her by of her official name, Mumita Mom. She is a relationship expert. She is a sex therapist, God damn it. And of course, she's a mom as well. And ladies and gentlemen, please, I would have revealed her age, but of course, I was not in the maternity when she was being born. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's appreciate and welcome on the show, the one and only Mom Getrude Mungai. Welcome on the show, Mom.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I am feeling good.
How old are you once again?
30 plus 20.
30 plus 20.
Yep.
Mathematics is correct. Blah, 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 blah. That is a 50 years.
Yes.
You have existed.
Actually, I'm almost 51 because I turned 50 at the beginning of the year in Feb. So
how do you feel?
51, I'm feeling good.
Are you scared?
Scared? I've been looking forward to turning 50. Why would I be scared?
Who would look forward to getting a year older? Me, if I could, I would choose to go back.
Forget about a year older. 50 was the age for me. In fact, I remember at 49, I almost celebrated my 50th birthday when I turned 49. Why? I was looking forward to turning 50.
Why were you so excited about 50 years?
Well, because it comes with so many things. Number one, of course, maturity. And the fact that the Lord has blessed you to give you another year to fika 50 is quite a blessing.
It's a deep
and
thing.
It means no diapers. You're done with kids. At least I was done with kids. And when it comes to marriage, I believe this is the time to really, really enjoy life. Hakuna mtu anakuchezea.
Wow.
Hata bwana hakuchezei.
But at 50, they normally say at 50... at 50 katu kwa hiyo ndoa, sijui hakuna penye unaenda, uwezi rudi kwa wazazi. What is your thought on that?
At 50, you see, by then you've made peace with so many things. Yes. At 50. You have made peace with who you are. If you had insecurities gone, you have realized whatever it is that you can't change, you need to learn to live with it. So I'm more at peace now. I am not running all over the place, wanting to change my look, wanting to change. No, I've accepted whatever it is that I can't change and enjoying and going with the flow.
Let's go back 20 years back. 30 years ago, where were you? What had you achieved?
Struggling to understand the marriage, bringing up babies.
No, wait, first of all, wait.
Birth.
At what age did you get married?
I got married at towards the end of me turning 25, because I remember my husband proposed to me on my birthday.
On your birthday.
Cheap guy. He wanted to kill two birds with two birds with one stone. Giving me of course I was expecting a birthday present from my boyfriend then. We had been dating for about 5 years. So he shows up, he tells me to close my eyes. Of course, I'm expecting a birthday present. The dude shows up with a engagement ring.
I mean, I should think that's a gift. I mean, it's a gift of commitment.
Cheap. I could have gotten an engagement present and a birthday present.
So he didn't get you anything?
Lesson, guys. Don't be cheap. But it was a surprise. You know the way you go out paka munaona mumejuana kabisa? Yeah. So I didn't expect an engagement ring. It's not like I was looking forward to getting married, but when it happened, then it was like, oh yeah, actually it was so natural.
Were you ready
for
marriage?
Was I? I never thought I didn't see me as a marriage type. I actually didn't. Why? And that was my longest relationship. I had my puppy love, then dated this one and married. Yeah.
So you've only dated 2 men.
There was one in between. We were trying something. Didn't work out.
Why didn't it work out? Why didn't it work out?
Gosh, this is the first time I'm remembering that relationship. He wasn't serious. I think we wanted different things. I realized that very early in the relationship before we became solid. But then my puppy love, towards the end of primary school, the whole of high school. So yeah, actually it went on for over 6 years.
So after KCSE results?
I moved to Nairobi and we grew apart. I think. That's the biggest. We grew apart.
And that was it?
That was it. We tried long distance. We really, really tried back and forth. He was at the coast. I was in Nairobi. We tried. It didn't work out.
What I mean, and just talking about the long distance relationship, I'm a firm believer that the biggest facade that we live in is long distance relationship.
Yeah.
Is there love in long distance relationship?
There is love. By the time I would like to think most of the time people start long distance relationship when they are together, and then circumstances bring them apart.
Okay.
And one has to travel, leave the country or whatever. And by the way, I'm not talking about long distance here, Kakamega na Nairobi. That's a lot of bullshit.
Kuna watu wameshinda kumaintain Nairobi Kitengela.
Imagine is it even long distance? I'm talking about abroad, where you have to take a flight and it takes a couple of hours, You can keep the relationship alive by texting, but it's never the same. Already, if you're in a relationship, it has a lot of challenges. Now, coupled up with a long distance, most of the time it doesn't work. But see, there's dating long distance and then there's marriage long distance. I'm very old-fashioned when it comes to some things. If it's marriage, I would like to think if you value a relationship, wherever you go, if you're able to bring your family, it will serve you better than you there somewhere, And if it's those places where it's like a war zone country, they have a way of giving you a couple of months to go home. There's a reason why they do that. If you can't bring your family. Otherwise, families belong together. Because it's not just about the wife. It's about the kids. You cannot parent your kid by remote control. You just can't do that.
You have to be there.
There are some things which have to be on one, face to face.
Wow. This is already getting deep. Lessons at 30 live on Dr. Ofweneke TV. Subscribe, hit the like button. Before we get there, you sound, for all these years we've known each other, you're always very passionate about marriage. And even when we do Hello Mr. White together, I'm always looking forward to something that you will say, either that will trigger me or I'll be like, wait, but then Mama Medigonga 10-0.
There's a reason why we fight always about
there's marriage. A reason why we always fight.
I'm a marriage crusader. And no matter how you look at it, there's no way you can modernize it too much. Some values still the same. So
we'll get there. Don't hurry. Okay. Don't hurry to that question. Let's go a little bit back.
Yes.
You and I share almost a similar background in terms of our parents, and we've always shared of the story about my parents separating when I was at a younger age, and same as you.
Mine were not together in the first place. They tried. They were teenagers. You can imagine if my dad was 21, how old was my mom.
Did she have an age?
Let's just say she was a teen mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your mom got you to how many years?
Around 16.
What?
Yeah.
Who did you grow up with between them?
Well, they tried to bring me up. Like I said, it didn't work out. I saw them fight. Like teenagers, they would argue, they would fight physically. Finally, my grandmother brought me and my dad up. We were brought up by his mother.
I love how you're laughing about. So
In
literally,
fact, just the other day, he corrected me because I used to think he got me when he was 19. Then he said, not 19, I was 21. And he thought it was a very big difference.
for him it was-
And he's maintained. My dad actually looks very young. When we walk, I walk with him in the streets. When people see us and they want to say hello before they start thinking he's Mr. Mungai, I say, hey, this is my dad.
They're like, this could be a sponsor
Yeah.
with the Kayanga.
Exactly.
And what are the things that you fought with when you were growing up, even before now into marriage, that at times you look back and said, if I didn't deal with that issue, then it would affect who I am as a wife and as a mom?
First of all, not having my mom to call my own or not having my dad, because like I said, they were young and then everybody grew up and everybody got married to other people. So I grew up with 2 fathers and 2 mothers. You understand? Yes. And then I had step brothers and sisters and step brothers and sisters because my mom got married as a second wife. So, and by then there's an older brother. I know. So there was my brother and I. And then when my dad tried, they tried to make it work, they got my sister. So there are 2 of us. I have one true sister. I call her true sister. And then I have
Now they
brother
have.
and sisters from my father's side. We share a dad. And brothers and sisters, we share a mom. And then there's the step, the ones who came with my stepdad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we grew up as a in fact, this is a time now you can see this was step. But we grew up as a happy, big family. My mom raised her kids in a predominantly Swahili setup, and my dad, I come from Freetown, a very historic place. So it wasn't as bad as it sounds, by the way. It wasn't. And my grandmother, I mean, she did a very good job, I would say.
She was very much in charge.
She was very much in charge. She was a grandmother at the end of the day. And then it wasn't abnormal around that time. Very many grandma brought up their grandkids. So it wasn't a big deal.
I think for me, my grandma brought me up for around 4 years until when my dad remarried again after mom left. So, I mean, and of course, a big shout out to all them grandmothers who have done an amazing job, and the ones who have left, may their soul rest in peace. Did you carry any anger towards, is there a point whereby you probably went through some stuff and you started harboring anger towards mom, dad, and if the 2 of you probably worked out your stuff together, I would not have had to go through this?
Actually, yes. I carried a lot of anger. Even growing up, I knew. I had a lot of resentment. I knew. And I didn't know how bad it was until I got married and got my own kids. Even during the marriage, though some issues which kept coming up. And but growing up, yes, I went through a lot of pain, especially when you can see you're not a priority to your mom, you're not a priority to your dad. It was painful, but my grandmother had a way of explaining things to me for me to understand and accept my situation. And I knew my way out is to do very well in school. And yes,
to get their attention.
Not even to get their attention. Nobody cared. Whether I did my homework or I didn't, nobody cared. But then to me, I would say the person who really, really changed my life as a child was our teacher. The trainee teachers,
TPs.
Yes. For us in Mombasa, it was the Shanzu teachers, from the training college. And otherwise at home, like I said, with a grandmother atakuliza, umefanya homework? Whether you lie or you don't. But then in school, there's somebody to encourage me and to show me that this is the only way you can You can go, and then in the same class with Swahili girls who kept dropping out, to get married or getting pregnant. I knew I didn't want to go down that road. So it wasn't as bad, actually. But yes, a major baggage.
Wow.
Major baggage.
Were you a bad girl?
I was a very
Because
hyper
you had all
child.
the freedom.
I was a very, very hyper child, and so many people, family members, confused that to be promiscuous. But I was very hyper. I didn't have any business with boys around that time, but I love dancing. And around that time, at the coast, there was jump session. Kisha zile by the beach, sees hapa zamadi. So I'll take off on Saturday afternoon, I'll go to the beach. I remember that time it was sea waves. I will go and dance and come back home. Yeah,
No
so
boyfriend or nothing.
I started dating towards the end of my primary school. Kisha ile kuandika barua nampatia na unakimbia. There's no that's a dating, So yes, I was a handful. I was a tomboy. I was a very handful.
Look at you, nobody would even think that you were tomboy at any point.
Oh, I was. And I don't know, like I said, but growing up, I didn't say like grow up, I want to have a good, happy marriage. My dad's marriage was, okay, the beautiful things about my dad's marriage and the beautiful things about my mom's marriage, but I wouldn't have had either of them. I wouldn't want to have had my mom's, and I wouldn't want to have had my dad's.
Did you even want to get married? Even really?
Until the guy gave me the ring, I never thought of it. I had never thought of it.
But you guys dated for 5 years.
We dated for 5 years.
So from 20 to 25.
Yes. We dated for 5 years.
How long should a man take before they propose? Or how long should a woman tolerate?
Tolerate?
Yes. Because I normally say past 2 years, you're tolerating now.
No, I wouldn't say that. It has so many tiers. It's not as simple as date for 5 years or date for 10 or 2 or 1. It depends. Is it a total stranger or is it somebody you grew up with? All those factors come to play. If you come from the same village or you're in the same circle, you saw him dating this other person, he saw you dating, you knew each other, your friends or your friends of friends, that's different. But I totally advise against people meeting a total stranger in 1 year, you're tying the knot.
So how many years?
I wouldn't put a cap to how many years, but how intense are your dates? And are you intentionally dating for marriage? Or are you just having a good time? Because people can put up a show. Even for 2 years, they can put up a show. But you can date for marriage. And some people apparently date for fun. But you can be intentional in knowing this person because I'm seeing him or her as a wife or as a husband.
There's something
but I'm telling you, there's no formula. There's no formula to this. There are people who date for 7 years. They get married and they divorce in 3. I have seen it. Some of my brides, like last week I was calling my brides. Some of them are already divorced. One shocked me. I mean, they had dated for 4 years. Yeah. And they stayed for almost 6 months not being sexual active. And they thought this was a good foundation. This was solid. So I was shocked to learn that they're divorced. A couple of days ago, I learned.
6 months?
6 months.
No ligidishi at all?
You see, that's where Ofu and I have issues.
6 months?
You can even date for a whole year. It doesn't have to be sexual.
I will report you to the landlord.
It doesn't have to be sexual. Because sex has a way of clouding things. Just like the way in marriage, if you have a very healthy sex life, things are never blown out of proportion. You understand? Now, in a dating relationship, things can be clouded. They can be made to look so small because you guys are enjoying.
Let me ask, when a couple's body is on hit and they feel like they want to go, they want to go ligidishi all the way, what is the best time to have an argument, before sex or after sex?
The best time to have an argument for this is for married couples? For anyone? So. For married couples.
Let's not use let's be realistic.
Okay.
Let's move the word married. Okay. Let's be realistic. For a couple.
So now let's see. for guys. They can be as calm and nice as long as they are, can I use the word horny?
Yes.
They will not look for a reason to fight. So even if there's something bugging him, he's not going to bring it up. When he's not thinking with his head, he's thinking with the other head. He's not going to bring it up. Let's just be honest. Okay? And the mistake so many women make is thinking, okay, after I've enjoyed my sex, now we can sit down and talk. To guy, it's already resolved. What are we talking about?
we'll sleep.
We already had sex, so there's no issue here. You know, relationships are tricky. It will depend on how you what you use to resolve your issues. Some people say sometimes sex can iron things out and you're able to be calm and talk about it, you know, and that's why they bring in the issue of makeup sex, which to me doesn't exist.
There's nothing like makeup sex.
I mean, for who? Who is making up? The lady?
Both
Maybe.
of us.
Think about it. Me as a lady, and then my husband messed up big time. Do I want to have sex with him so we can make up and talk about it? I'm pissed. You know? So there's no way. And for men, maybe, you know, so this is how, this is what I normally tell people. And I wish this was a lesson I took, you know, in my first 5 years below marriage. And for me, it was very messy because we got married in November. I got pregnant in Feb.
Whoa.
You understand? Yeah, so it happened very quickly. As I'm trying to learn marriage, I'm trying to learn husband, I'm also trying to learn how to be a mom. Made lots of mistakes. And that's why I'm in the profession I'm in right now, to help young people know how to. I even had to drop from work, stop working, and be a staying-home mom. And I would recommend that. I recommend it totally.
Stay at home.
Stay at home for a while to take care of your kids if you can. But this has got to be a discussion between you and your husband. So I stayed home and I went home with my full salary because I was working for him around that time. So we discussed.
You married your boss.
Okay, see, now you make it sound so bad. Like I slept with the boss, man.
You slept with the boss?
No, I didn't sleep with the boss. We dated. I was working elsewhere. And then his workers were not doing a good job. He hired me temporarily. I did a very good job. So I was hired permanently. But let me tell you something. Working with your spouse is so hard because I used to be hired and fired. So many times, sometimes I wake up in the morning. I'm not sure whether I was hired or fired.
So let me ask, were you rehired after the sex or before the sex?
Let's just say most of the time, I earned my job. Most of the time, mshahara ingeongezwa na kwambia. Mshahara ilibidi iongezwe. You owe me, Pete. You owe me big time.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much, Mr. Pete Mungai, a very good friend of mine, an amazing gentleman. Before we get there, Pete was not your type in the beginning.
No.
What was your
He
type?
still denies it. He was too serious, man. He's a computer gig. Still is. With his 2 glasses, 2 power suits. I mean, he was so uptight.
What did you want? Baggy trousers?
I dated a DJ before him. Now you can imagine. That's why. Oh, goodness. When people say opposite attract, I agree. Totally agree. He was not my ideal kind of guy. That's why we a whole year we were meeting, you know, groups, we were as couples, groups, and then everybody else disappeared. It was just the 2 of us, and we hung out for almost a year.
Without actually, what are we?
Yeah. Until now, every time we were having those kind of dates or meetings, it was just the 2 of us. We got used to it. We started enjoying each other's company. We got too close to me, you know. And then one time he kissed me. I'm like, what? You kissed me? Now you're my boyfriend. And he could not believe it. Imagine. Sasa nani alikatia mwingine hapo? I'm telling you, life is... That's why I can't go back to the dating. If this guy decides to divorce me...
God forbid.
I am done. I can't go back to that. I just can't.
But you still has hot cake? You still a hot cake?
Yeah, but dating right now, I don't think I can survive. I don't
What
think I
has
can
changed
survive.
from your time to this time?
Dating was proper dating. You know, it was taking it slow, getting to know each other, dealing with some real issues, you know, even wanting approval from your parents, and not because wana control, but you trust your folks so much, you're in such a good relationship, you know they want the best for you. These days, I see people taking ladies or taking guys, and the parents can smell this person from afar and thinking, my son or my daughter, this is not the way to go. Unaanza kusema, mimi mwenyewe ndo namjua nachompendea. And then you're messed up big time, you go back crying. It's like, rudi kule kule, si ulijua ni nini? You know, so to me, like I said, in so many ways, I'm still very old-fashioned. I wouldn't pick as a spouse for my sons. I wouldn't do that. But I hope I've done a good job to show them or to teach them how to pick. Is that making sense?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
because the little one, I've seen his taste kind of. The older one, I kind of have a rough idea of what kind of a lady he likes. You know, gosh, there's so much of his father in this guy. I worry.
Oh my God.
The little one, there's so much of me in this guy. Scary.
Suralan will date.
You know, the other one is taking his time and he's too picky. But the little one, me, hey, bordering being a player, I'm telling you. You know, and I'm not kidding. So I wouldn't. But like I'm saying, things are different. Maybe it's because I'm not from this generation. You know, I find
But
it
you're
so
raising
hard.
kids in this generation,
I'm
so you
raising
can
kids
also
in
be
this-
able to.
Yes, but my ways are still the old ways, but they're firm and they're solid. That's what I would say. You know?
As we continue, let me just ask. So you finish high school, then you get out here, and of course you get married, you have a kid. Of course, you've gone, you've extended your education. How is it that who are you? What career choice did you make before? Now that we know you as a relationship and a sex expert.
Let's just say I didn't say, when I grow up, I want to be a sex therapist. No. I am a secretary by profession. And then my first job, I work for husband and wife. I almost killed one of them.
Why?
So I can't go back.
So you
I'm
also
just-
had toxic bosses at your time.
No, I don't think they were toxic. I'm just not the employed type. I'm just not the employed type. I came to realize. See, and that's the mistake which happened. I didn't pick my own career. It was picked for me. It was the easiest thing for, you know, whoever decided this is what I was going to. I don't want to mention names. You know, I never picked to be a secretary. It wasn't my career choice. Before, I think your parents just tell you to do this, and because I was already known to be rebellious, I didn't want to fuel that. You know, so I did it for the heck of it, but my heart was not in it. I wasn't that type, you know, so I tried it out. I don't think my bosses were toxic. I just wasn't.
You were toxic.
I wasn't toxic per se, but no, I can't be anybody's secretary. Let's just say.
Or you
it was
fired
the
or
worst.
Or you fired or you
I
left.
fired myself. I fired myself.
What do you feel like you're a Gen Z at heart?
Am I?
You just left? You just stood up and left? You just said I can't do this and you're out?
We went for the holidays. I never went back. I never went back. And I started doing odd things, you know. That time computers were just coming into the picture. Then my boyfriend was an IT person. You know, every weekend we'll bring the computer home and we will do stuff.
Wait, hold up. Pete must have really been in love. I mean, carrying a whole PC, monitor, mouse,
ile wakati wa
keyboard,
doors na windows.
Hey.
No. He would always do that. He wasn't doing it for me, but he would always bring work home. And he continued bringing work home. Don't worry, we had a discussion after that of him bringing work home. Yeah. So before I realized I was in the computer world and I enjoyed it so much, and he had his own company and he will supply and then he will teach basic computers. He trained me, so I used to do that.
Nice. Now that you ended up now in this, what we know you for as Getrude, what do your children tell their peers? What does your mom do?
Oh, I didn't hide it from my kids. My kids know exactly who I am and what I do. It's not a secret, you know. And to so many people, they might think that I'm ashamed of what I do. I am not. I am not ashamed of what I do. I am proud of what I do because I'm not teaching anybody to have sex with the next door neighbor. I'm not doing that. And if there's anybody who had me saying that, bring proof. I'm just telling married people, if you have to do this, do it right.
Do it right.
Usipotezee mtu mwingine
But how did
wakati.
you arrive at this? Teaching sex. Sex?
It wasn't the main thing, man. It was about marriage, you know, the holistic and how people are supposed to enjoy
Sex
marriage. Yes, not enjoy it. And sex is right at the top of it. It's right at the top of it.
Can a marriage survive without sex?
A sexless marriage? No. No, it will be something else, but it's not. And people have tried to have a sexless marriage. Unless there's an illness. You know, one of you is not able to perform. Lakini nyote ni wazima. You understand? Mr. Victor keeps saying, attention every morning. And you're... No.
Is that grounds enough to cheat?
Unfortunately, people cheat for so many reasons. Sometimes it's not just sex. You know, and some people, everything will be okay at home, but it's just within them, you know. And I saw so many men, and it was just confirmed a couple of weeks ago when I had a conversation with someone. So many men will cheat, not because things are so bad at home, or the wife is ugly, she's let loose, she's not taking care of herself. No, they would just cheat for the heck of cheating. They don't actually have a reason. Or it's got nothing to do. Let me not say they don't have a reason. It's got nothing to do with their spouse. And by that, it's not just men who cheat. Men started. Women picked it up, perfected it. Guess who's being cheated on? Left, right, and center. We are very good at perfecting things. We pick, incubate,
so women are more
and blow it up. Oh, yes.
Women are cheaters more than men.
Or maybe equally. It's no longer a guy's thing. It's no longer a guy's thing.
Are there... Okay. You said men cheat for no reason. Do women cheat for a reason?
Most of the time, a lady has a reason to cheat. From where I'm sitting, most of the time, a lady has a reason to cheat.
If Getrude was to cheat,
me,
why would she cheat?
You know, because I'm a sexpert. Nobody believes me when I say I don't cheat. I've never cheated.
You've never cheated?
I've never cheated in the, 26 years of my marriage. Even when we were dating, I have never cheated. I've never found a reason to cheat. And it's got nothing to do with him. You understand? It's got nothing to do with my husband. This is my own conviction. Or maybe it's because of the way I was brought up and I saw. At the cost, it was so loose. I mean, it was okay. It was part of life. You know? So it's not because of him. Half the time, my husband doesn't give me any reason not to cheat. And I'm sure the same. It's not because of me. He's not cheating because of me. He has his own reasons. So many times, don't blame it on the spouse. This is you. And you have to take responsibility.
So the lesson that you're telling as mom on the show is the lessons of 30 is you have to make a decision first of all.
Cheating is a personal choice.
It's a personal choice.
It's a personal choice.
Not because what the other person is doing.
It's a personal choice. The other party could be cheating. You decide to cheat because of revenge. You see, you made that decision. You understand? You made the decision. The other person could be... Okay, let me just say something. A lesson I have learned, you know, after my 30s, is majority of the men are sexually starved in marriage. And majority of the women are emotionally starved. So marriages, men in marriages.
Please repeat that again.
And that's where the cheating happens.
Just repeat that point again.
In marriage, majority of the men, if not all, are sexually starved. They're not having as enough sex as they want. And we can do 10 episodes on just that. And majority of the women are emotionally starved. So the man holds back emotions and the woman holds back sex. It's not like they're using sex as a weapon. They are not. but they're holding back because they're thinking this is the only thing I can hold to make you feel like the way I'm feeling. So the man is holding emotions, the woman is holding sex.
How many times in a day should a married couple have sex?
In a day? In a day, Ofu, when you don't have a job? Most of you I know. The way I know you with your all these businesses you do. In a day? Let's just say. And I always tell people this, and they think I am not, but it's true. An orgasm a day keeps the doctor away. It's not an apple. Whoever pinned it on an apple, they lied. It's an orgasm a day keeps the doctor away. Okay? So...
God, I love you.
So when you're talking about sex here, it's not just the mediocre sex. Ile tu woye, nyambura or rabbit. Oops. I've just said nyambura.
Nitakuuma, nikumalize, nikukatekate, nikutupanishe.
Ama fungua niingie. I'm not talking about that. There's quality sex. That's what I'm talking about. In marriage, there's got to be quality sex. So in a week, how often should you have quality sex? It's not about a day. It's in a week. And then how long have you been married? What are the circumstances? What are you dealing with? 26 years of marriage right now, we have moved from quantity to quality. It's not as often, but when it happens, the roof comes down.
Hallelujah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Lessons of 30, ladies and gentlemen.
But if you're still in your honeymoon phase, make as many memories as you can. And then depending on your circumstances, sometimes, like I said, got married in November, got pregnant in Feb. So I was dealing with so many things. I don't remember mind-blowing sex then. You understand? But after that, when you settle, because after the baby, now I doubled in size from size 8 to size 16. So I was handling that. It took him so many times to tell me how beautiful I am for me to believe him, because I used to look at myself in the mirror. I lost track of what size I am. If I buy clothes without me trying them on, they will never fit by the time I get home. So I was dealing with that. So I'm not saying sex was the best around time. So lessons learned. Men don't care how you look. And you don't have to have sex in the dark. I used to almost dress up in the wardrobe because I don't want him to. And now I believe him. He still saw me, that pretty little thing, on the wedding, during the honeymoon. Even after I got pregnant, I ballooned. I had acne all over the place. My goodness, my boys made me look bad. I'm glad we didn't have social media around that time. Sing a post anything.
Were you those pregnant mamas?
You should see my pictures. These guys, but my husband never saw that. And he used to verbalize it. So when your man tells you look okay, you believe them. Because he wasn't lying.
It was the truth.
It was the truth. That's what he saw. And then me with the baby, it's the prettiest sight he's ever seen. But me, I'm so insecure. I am this, I am that, I am, So to me, I said communications and listen, and guys, there's a way you can say something to your spouse and they believe you. So find that way and keep saying it, because sometimes women, we need that.
Is it the words or the tone, ma'am? Is it the words or the tone?
Both. Sometimes it's the words you say them enough times. Sometimes it's the tone you use, say it enough times. But all this is cultivated. It's not just with time, you see. Like now, I am 50. I look back. I can draw so many lessons from it. Now, after 26 years of marriage. Around that time, I was caught up in my own, because I needed to build my own confidence. I needed to build my own self-esteem, without him. Because many times we feel like they can complete you. In a relationship, no spouse can complete you. They can complement you. I needed to know the difference then, that this guy is not here to complete me. Only Jesus Christ can do that.
Hallelujah.
But he's here to complement me. In whatever it is I do, give me the support I need to grow, to thrive, So over the years, I see the many mistakes I made then. But he was a stable guy. Otherwise, I don't think we'd be married by now. Kama angekuwa ni mtu tu wa kuyumba hivi. No.
Only that
And I'm a handful, I must admit. So I needed the computer gig, you know. You do not have worked out with the DJ. It wouldn't. I needed a solid guy, you know, somebody you like, Nina piga kelele, he's calm, and then okay.
Once you're done,
Yeah, now let's talk about this.
Does he dance as much when you guys go out?
Sorry?
Does he dance as much when you guys go out?
Yeah, if I let him, and if this does move that time, well, he does. And he, by the time I was meeting him, I was coming into his life, he's had his fair share of, you know, rioting, you know. I don't think there's
Mom,
any
you're
pub.
old. Mom, you're old. Anybody who uses the word rioting.
Oh, he had done his fair. So I got the best of him.
Wow.
Yeah, he was settled. He was hakuwa na mambo mingi.
Did he have much? When you guys met, did he have much?
You see, that's the
in
thing.
terms of financial stability, because today I was just thinking about why marriages and relationships are not working in our generation, and it just occurred to me that maybe our women are not looking for commitment. Our women are looking for helpers. Because this is, if you don't have money, we're not talking. If you don't have some certain level of social status, we're not talking. And I was just wondering, was it the same case at that time? Where, because there's either looking at the man's pocket, or there's looking at, yes, he has something, he doesn't have as much, but this guy looks like he is on his way to a gold mine. Because I was told women can pick that. Women can pick a man who has something coming.
A potential.
Yes.
Although some potential never comes to light.
Wow.
Somebody can have a potential for
Kuna deal.
Kuna deal na somebody can have a potential for the rest of his life. Paka mumezeka, he still has potential. Inachokesha. Let me tell you something. This guy, he was a humble person. Still is up to now.
Very.
Yeah. Most of the time when you meet the two of us, you'll think he's my driver.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the first time.
Many times he's maintained it. He has maintained it, you know. So when I met him, I didn't know he had so much. I didn't know. He didn't present it, you know. So, and I used to go to his office. You know, around that time, like I said, computers had just come into the market. And I would go to his office. And there's so many young people working there, you know. We're still dating, knowing each other. We didn't talk money, you know, but somehow we would go out on dates. He will spend, you know, he'll buy me not expensive gifts. And so one day, after a couple of years into our relationship, I asked him, you know, I've come to your office many, many times, but I've never met your boss. You know, who is the boss? When does he come in? He looks at me, what do you mean? I am the boss. I'm like, huh? That's when I realized the bloody guy owns the whole company.
And that's why you're like, I want to marry the boss.
Nikaanza kuitisha gifts sasa.
Such an opportunist.
You know, but he's maintained it, you know. He's always been self-employed. He plans for the future, you know. So that time to me, it wasn't an issue. Again, it will depend on the lady. Okay, the Gen Zs right now is a little bit different. But around that time, it will depend. Everybody hooks up with someone. They have their own reasons for doing that.
Yes.
Tusiseme eti ni gold diggers, nini. Let's not label people. You get what I'm saying?
And
that's what I believe.
And I tell men, don't call a woman a gold digger unless you have the gold
to give. You know, otherwise anakuja kudig nini mchanga.
Come on.
Exactly. So for me, right now, I would say there's so many women who go for men after money, and there's so many men who go for women for the same results. So open up your eyes. Okay? I still believe in that the checklist. Okay? I still believe in that. And this is for you to know and to be able to spot somebody from afar. Have that unrealistic checklist. You know, up to 100. Trust me, you will narrow it down mpaka utafika 10. Ikifika 10, just pick the 3 most important. Because it's competitive. You can imagine if a lady who is in her 40s or 30s, they'll be competing for the same guy who is in the 40 with a 20-year-old, 25-year-old, a 30-year-old. Okay, you really need to be focused. But like I say, don't get somebody to come and complete you, both men and women. You need somebody to come and complement. So have that checklist. And most of the time, our checklist, one man can't have all that. You will need 10 men to fit in that checklist.
Each for every
So pick the top 3 and then decide from the 3 which one can't you live without. To me, I wanted somebody who can zip it up and be faithful to one. I just needed that. Somebody who looked like, even the DJ I was dating, he was a DJ. It's like he had 2 lives. He had his public life and he had a life with me. And many times he would protect me. I remember while I was in high school almost sitting for my exams, there's a group of girls who came looking for me. Who is this? He keeps saying he has a girlfriend. And so they had him in this school. They came because he just showed up and he's looking worried. And that's when later on I came to know why he was there. So he had this, but he was a DJ, yes, clubbing and all that. But then he had only one girlfriend around that time. And I believed him. I believe him until today. Okay, so to me, that is what was attractive. I used to be so scared of men who had a lot of money because most of the time they would use girls. And remember, I grew up in a household full of uncles. And there was this uncle. I would entertain a girl in the living room and there's another one by the roadside. And but I used to make money by there because he would have to pay me to keep the secrets. Gosh, I had a fun life. Now that I remember. Imagine. So I grew up not trusting men completely. I remember my dad was young, so I saw him grow up. He had his motorbike, and I was a cute kid. Gosh, I'm sure my dad will see this. Put me in the motorbike. We go for rounds, and he'll pick chicks. I remember. Daddy, I remember.
You are a bait.
I remember those conversations. I remember that. Okay? So, to me, it's the way you're socialized, the way you're brought up. So, if there's a lady who's thinking, nimetoka kwa shida, sitaki mwanamume atanileta kwa shida. But at the end of the day, you as a woman, you need to have your own money. You need to find a way of making money. But if it's a deal you have cut with this guy, financial independence liberates you as a woman. I don't even need to say this about the men. Because no matter how you look at it, women at the end of the day, they're so old-fashioned. They're so old-fashioned. Deep down there. Eti wapate mwanamume, yuletamlisha, they're the ones paying and spending. Trust me, there's always a price to pay. There's always a price to pay.
One day, a caller told me, and we was just sharing, and Esther was telling me, she told me, Ofweneke, no matter how much money I have, because I'm rich and it's in the public knowledge that I'm rich, but I still want a man to spend on me.
It's just a thing about women.
It's 50-50 a thing.
Okay, 50-50 can be debated. 50-50 when it comes to what? Is it just financial or is emotional? Is 50-50 is not, there's some aspects of your relationship. The man just has to bring in 20%, you bring 80%. Simply because he's a man, not because of anything. Because every time we talk about 50-50, and this is a lesson I learned, every time we talk about 50-50, we think it's financial. There's a lot when it comes to a relationship.
Mama, we are taking notes. Talk to us. We are taking notes.
It's not just about paying bills. There's the parenting. There's the socializing part of it. There's emotional, psychological. There's a lot of things. So this 50-50, where does it come to play? Let's say when it comes to the kids we have 2 sons. And my husband has been a present father. And he owned it, and I keep telling women, hii kitu like, eti bwana asikuje kwa delivery room because they can't handle it. Are you kidding me? He has to come. What do you mean he can't handle it?
I went for
the last one.
Christine's.
How was it?
I vomited.
That's when we know how strong men are.
This was me.
You vomited.
This was.
He passed outstanding. He passed outstanding. So this is the thing, and this is a lesson I learned then, and I'm passing on to the young ladies. Usijibebeshe hizi mizigo peke yako. And that's why now, around that time, he has so much free time and you're so overwhelmed. The fact that he came to the delivery room with me, it made a difference. it made a whole lot of difference. Wow. So these men need to earn this thing. Unless you decided you're just doing this on your own. He needs to earn from the stick level. When you suspect you're pregnant, call him up, let him buy the pregnancy kit. He comes home, you do the peeing, he does the testing. He owns it from the stick level. If there's anything you don't need to remember, this you have to remember. He owns it from the stick level.
I get
you understand?
I hear you,
even these hospital visits, let him come. School visits, let him come. You understand? Get him involved. Like us when we had a rough night. There's no way one day my husband woke up and said, you're taking too much time with the baby, because you are so overwhelmed. He has so much free time. He gets to relax. And then he wants to come, he wants to make love to you. You are so burnt out. The night we don't sleep, it's both of us. In fact, even breastfeeding. Our baby stayed in our rooms for 40 days. After 40 days, there was a huge ceremony to get the cute little burger out of our room.
Kwenda.
Oh, yes.
So after 40 days, mtoto
inje. Kisha hiyo 40 days in our room, it wasn't on our bed. The ones I call river in between, you have to cross the baby to get to the husband.
No.
We didn't have that. There was a baby the coffee table came to the bedroom with a Moses basket. That's where the baby used to sleep at night. So when the baby wakes up, and we baby trained, so the baby used to wake up after every 3 hours. So even us, we know, before the baby wakes up, we like half asleep. So when the baby wakes up, my husband gets up, gets the baby, me a seat. He gives me the baby, I breastfeed, he takes the baby, puts the baby to sleep, then we hold and sleep. I'm telling you, I fell in love with him all over again. I never felt at any one time when it comes to this parenting journey, I was alone. He was there from day one. Delivery room. The first time he passed outside, the second one, he was a pro, But never ever let him stand on this side of the bed, to see the Miss Victoria opening and the baby crowning. This guy is never going to touch you for months. Ataogopa manake, it's a different world down there.
Beautiful.
So this side of the bed, holding your hand.
As we almost finish, I'm very keen on bringing people on the show for them to give lessons based on their strength. That's what I've really been on about marriage and sex. We were sitting in a group of men and we were saying that the women are complaining. The men now, they perform better outside than inside.
Sexually?
Yes. That with the wife, they underperform. But out there, they overperform, right? And then the men are saying that women have become boring and too preoccupied with other issues and matters about life, that they don't find time to just create the ambience, create the atmosphere. Mom, how do we handle this?
Okay. I understand why the men would feel that way and why the women would behave that way. Like I said, it goes back to my point. Men are holding back emotions and women are holding back sex.
Yes.
Trust me. Every woman can do what I do and even outdo what I do if the conditions are conducive. If emotionally you've been holding back, you're not complimenting, you're not emotionally available for me, there's no way I'm going to go all out to give you designer kind of sex. Nitakupatia kifo cha mende, woye na rabbit.
Rabbit nigga.
Rabbit is the worst doggy ever. As in, you are in a doggy position, but you do look like a rabbit. Umejiingiza huko. I mean, I wish I could demonstrate. I'm telling you, next time I'll come in my tights. There's going to be a next time, yeah?
Oh, yes, baby. I mean, sex is an ever-ending conversation.
So this one, let's just give practicals because this is lessons.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Practicals. So every woman can do that. Manake wanawake wanapeana. When a woman is holding back something, she feels like she's not being met emotionally halfway. Okay? And the reason why men feel like or think they're performing better because there's no baggage on the other side. Your wife shoulders your baggage. Your wife calls you out once in a while, which you don't want. You understand? No. So half the time, there's so many things you haven't done. Sometimes man-made, sometimes artificial, and sometimes actually there's so many things you haven't done. And she's burdened and you're not pulling your weight. sometimes. And they're just women who are not able to take control over their homes and run with it, and not burden the husband more. You see, this is very, very tricky.
Yeah.
So it should be judged from marriage to marriage. And many times when I mediate between husband and wife, I'd like to be given the facts as in, this is how it is. So let's see how we can go from this. Okay? If you come late, and this is such a cliche because everybody says that. It's not even about coming late. Me, I like it when my husband goes and hangs out with his buddies. He doesn't do that often, but I'm okay with it. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't like, he doesn't have to give me his password to the phones. He doesn't. There's such trust which has been built between the two of us. The small things are no longer an issue. So for me, I have no reason to hold back. Many times, I have no reason to hold back. And sometimes it's not his issues. It's my issues I'm dealing with. And I may not be able to be there 100%. So this is what I normally tell Neni. Go and tell your friends, those guys, and this is a lesson I'm giving to you. A woman has different forms of sex. So it's up to you to know which one you're going to be given. Play your cards right. We have different forms of sex. We have sex with our husband. We make love to our husbands and we play it. So depending on what you're presenting to me, nitakupatia one of these three. Na hutajua ni gani. You get what I'm saying? To have sex with the husband is the normal one. As in, he's your husband, he needs to have it. If you don't, she's going to wake up sulky, kicking tires. He's not even friendly about it. He didn't even ask nicely about it. But you've said no many times. He's not even making an effort to touch you. Because wanawake, it takes time before you arouse her. You get what I'm saying?
You guys are so complicated.
I know. And that's true. We're emotional creatures. But you shouldn't use that as an excuse. And then there's the playing, like she's like rewarding you. And then there's making love she's doing for herself. She doesn't need special shoes. But you will feel her. You will feel her presence.
As you finish, Mom, my God, 3 types of sex.
So it's not like you guys perform better.
The hell?
It's not like you guys perform better on the other side.
Really? Okay.
There's something. You at home, imagine at home you can get that and more. You can get that and more.
There are more than those 3 sexes?
Those 3.
Those are the top ones.
Those are the ones. And not the top ones. They're the ones.
No, it's okay. Hapo imetosha. As you finish up,
yes.
Final question. You keep on joking about it when we were on Hello, Mr. White, that you actually have a pole in your bedroom.
Yeah. It's a portable pole. So
portable.
It can go anywhere. It's portable. It can be in the bedroom. It can be the living room. It can be...
So you literally perform for your husband?
Yeah. If I want to make more money from him. He doesn't dish money easily. So...
He's Kikuyu.
He's Kikuyu from Gikambura, Kiambu somewhere. So for me it's just a game I like to do. We do lots of... We do a lot of... To spice it up.
At 50
And
years.
many times it's not even... He doesn't care. This is mostly for me. The dressing up, the wigs, the shoes, they're dropping it like it's hot. It's
so
mostly,
you literally,
Yeah. You don't have to be a professional. Just in case there's somebody watching me thinking, you don't have to be a professional. So you don't even have to do the lifts. But just pausing and dressing and just having a stripper pole and turning the whole bedroom into a nightclub and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of hot, I think, when wives do it.
So 3 things that wives should invest in to make their sex life better? Just 3 things that women should invest in. Physical, that they can go to a shop and buy. A pole?
Well, it's not for everyone. And you see, even some men would not... Every time I talk about having a pole, there's some men like, I wouldn't want my wife to have a pole. Know your man very well. So the 3 things, let's not call them things you can buy from the shop.
Yeah, 3
let's
things.
Just say you need to be 3 things
yes.
for your husband.
Thanks for the correction.
Then it's safe that way, depending on who you're dealing with.
Yes.
Na sikudanganye, bibi atakikani kufanya hivi, bibi atakikani, anakudanganya, atatafuta nje. So you do you. And this is what you do. You need to be a wife to him because you already are. There's so many things which can tell you being a wife. I need to be a lover. Date your husband. Don't let any other person date him. At least try to date him. Go on proper dates. Better dates than the ones you used to have when you're going out. And you can, why not? And you need to be a nice little hoe. I don't have a nice word to describe that.
Say it again.
You need to be a nice little hoe. You need to be a one-stop shop to your man. A wife, a lover, and a nice little hoe. What else does he need if you're the three? Okay? Exactly. So, what is this that atatafuta huko nje? And but there are no guarantees, and I'm very aware of that. There are no guarantees that when you're a one-stop shop, he's gonna stick around or he will not cheat. Some men just cheat, like I said, because they want to. But for you, at least let him cheat. And you can stand somewhere and say, I've tried everything. But many times women, they can't say they've tried everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, putting it as it is, putting it as raw as it should be, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this is the reason why she's Kenya's number one most sought after marriage counselor and, of course, a sex therapist as well. Only on Lessons at 30 with Dr. Ofweneke. Live on my YouTube channel, Dr. Ofweneke TV. Subscribe and hit the like button. And if there's anything you've learned, don't be selfish with the information. Share to a friend, to an ex, to a landlord. Share it to somebody. Let's get to know. Let the class grow bigger. This is Lessons at 30. Pen and paper always ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Getrude Mungai. And of course, see you again on the next show. Lessons at 30 with Dr. Ofweneke.